Birla Capital, co-powered by JK Tyre.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The confrontation over liquor has reached a boiling point and a point of no return between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. Till today, it was all about files and lockers and CBI raids. But now, a video sting that the BJP claims to be the death knell for Kejriwal and company is out. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the BJP has released a sting that shows the father of Sunny Marwa, who is the 13th accused in the CBI case on the alleged liquor scam. In this video, the father, Kulvinder Marwa, is heard saying that a fixed payment was made to the Delhi government, in lieu of which a free hand was given to operate liquor business in the state. He asserts that while he paid 253 crore rupees a year to the government, other vendors even paid up to 500 crores each. Listen in to this sting video.
प्रॉफिट दी गेम 80% है
80%
1 रुपए ਦੇ ਮਾਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ 20 ਪੈਸੇ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ 20 ਪੈਸੇ ਦਾ ਮਾਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ 80 ਪੈਸੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ
अच्छा
1+1 ਕਰਨ ਡਰ ਗਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ
80 ਇੰਨੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਕਿਵੇਂ
ਇੰਨੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਐਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਐਤਕੀ ਚਾਲੇ ਚੱਲੀਏ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ 20 ਦਾ ਮਾਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਦਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਵੇਚੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫਿਕਸ ਨੇ ਪੈ ਦੇ साढ़े तो 253 करोड़ लेते हैं ठीक है जाओ तो जिन्हें मर्जी दुकाना करो जो मर्जी करो 20 पैसा माल आंदा
253 करोड़ एक बंदे दो
एक बंदे
अच्छा साल दा
253 नहीं ये तो मिनिमम साढ़ा है बाकी 500 करोड़ लिया साढ़े तो सब तो घाटा का
क्यों
गल में 20 टेंडर जो भरे सी सब तो छोटे सी ले ले बाकी 200 टेंडर बने उन्हें महंगे मिले लेने पे असी जो टेंडर भरे सी ना कच्ची कॉलोनी दे भरे सी जितनी दुकान सस्ती डिफेंस कॉलोनी सब एक डिफेंस में मेन रोड है ना इस पास डिफेंस कॉलोनी है उधर दुकान है कि 200 रुपये फुट इस पास कोटला उधर 90 रुपये फुट गाहक दे सड़क टप के दूर चले जाता है पर वो टेंडर लैन वाले बेड़ा करे हो गया असि दुकाना जड़ियां लिया ना जान के असि कच्ची कॉलोनी दुकाना जितनी सन दुकान सस्ती मिलेगी लेकिन सेल तो सस्ते ब्रांड होगी सस्ते ब्रांड मिल जाएंगे मतलब माल भी पैसे का असि 40 की 80 हुई है कई लोग 1+1 दे रहे हैं कई 2 वाली दे रहे हैं
1+2 भी दे रहे हैं
मैं कह 2 दे रहे हैं माल दे भी पैसा है
पहले इन्नी कमाई होंदी सी
सर इन्नी पहले 70 पहले 20 रुपए का माल होंदा सी 70 रुपए गवर्नमेंट होंदे 10 रुपए साडे होंदे सी
अच्छा
हुन गवर्नमेंट ने की कीता आ गया 20 रुपए का माल लो जो मर्जी करो
Well, what Kulvinder Marwa, the father of accused number 13, has to say, I've been showing in this paper that I have access from agencies, and in this, the entire way this entire profit business was working has been explained, and I want to show this to you because how they say that 20 rupees is what you have to pay, the rest 80 you can sell at whatever price is what Kulvinder Marwa says. And I want to explain to you how this works. Now, let's take 4 heads, and I will explain this to you in just these 4 heads. There are 3 major issues that you need to see. There is the excise, there is VAT collection, there is profit margin, and then there is the price for the consumer. Old versus new policy, how this worked. In the old policy, the excise was 223 rupees per bottle. New is 1.88, less than 2 rupees, ladies and gentlemen, less than 2 rupees. VAT was 106 rupees, has gone down to 1 rupee 90 paisa. Profit margin per bottle used to be 33 rupees and 35 paise. That has gone up to 363 rupees. The price, which was earlier 530 rupees per bottle, has gone up to 560 rupees. So if, ladies and gentlemen, I was to explain to you where is the government's or the exchequer's loss, it is because excise duty has come down from 223 rupees to less than 2 rupees. The VAT collection of 106 has gone down to 1 rupee 90 paisa, so it's down. The rate of the bottle has gone up from 530 rupees to 560, so you don't get the benefit of the lowering of the excise as well as VAT. And look at where the real story lies. Profit margins, 33 rupees up to 363 rupees. And it is this 10x profit which is what the allegations are all about. And it is on this that so far the Aam Aadmi Party has not been able to give any response. For the BJP, of course, through the sting, they have explained just this arithmetic that we've been telling you since the last several days. Excise, VAT, profit and price. Those are the questions that the Aam Aadmi Party needs to answer, and those are the questions raised by Dr. Sambit Patra of the BJP when the BJP held a press conference this morning to release the sting and put the charge sheet on the Aam Aadmi Party government. Listen in.
पहली बात, 80% का जो प्रॉफिट है वो दिल्ली की जनता के जेब से निकाल करके मनीष सिसोदिया और अरविंद केजरीवाल ने अपने यारों के, अपने मित्रों के दलाली के माध्यम से उनके जेब में डाला। ना, ये सरकारी खाते में नहीं जा रहे थे, तो ये कोई लाइसेंस फीस इत्यादि नहीं थे। एक एक व्यक्ति से पहले मालूम पड़ा कि 60 करोड़, जैसे इनसे मारवा साहब से 60 करोड़ रुपए लिया होगा अपने व्यक्तिगत कमीशन के लिए, तो मारवा साहब कहते हैं कुछ लोगों से तो 150 करोड़ ले लिया है, और ये जो है ये सरकारी खाते में नहीं जा रहे थे, मतलब ये मनीष सिसोदिया के खाते में जा रहे थे, जिसको हम तब से मोटा माल कह रहे थे। यहां पर स्पष्ट शब्दों में मारवा साहब, जिनका स्टिंग हुआ है, वो कहते हैं एक गलती तो बड़ी कर दीजिए इन्होंने, ब्लैक लिस्टेड कंपनियों को बुला करके इन्होंने टेंडर दिया है। टेंडर कंप्लेंट के बावजूद मनीष सिसोदिया जी ने टेंडर दिया, क्योंकि मोटा माल मिल रहा था कि 100 करोड़ की गाड़ी आएगी तो 12 करोड़ कमीशन होगा, 12 करोड़ में से 6 करोड़ उसी दिन जाके मनीष सिसोदिया को देना है। अब हमें समझ में नहीं आता था कि ये 6 करोड़ कोई छोटा रकम तो नहीं है, इसको हम कन्वर्ट कैसे करें ब्लैक मनी में, क्योंकि हमारे पास तो पैसे नहीं है, नोट में देने हैं। तो आप सोचिए किस कदर यहां लूट मची हुई थी, आज इसका खुलासा हुआ है।
Moments after the BJP released the sting video, it was Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, who turned up to counter the fire for the Aam Aadmi Party's side. He dismissed the BJP, which the BJP called a clincher, as a joke. He even went on to say that a CBI officer committed suicide 2 days earlier, and he did so because he was pressurized from the top. This is what Manish Sisodia had to say.
देखो, इन्होंने भारतीय जनता पार्टी काफ़ी दिन से चिल्ला रही है, घपला हो गया, कभी 1300 करोड़, कभी 8000 करोड़, कभी 500 करोड़, कभी 144 करोड़, कभी 30 करोड़। फिर सीबीआई से इन्होंने एफआईआर कराई, तो सीबीआई ने भी ढूंढ ढांड के दूर से कहीं से स्ट्रेच करके 2 कंपनियों के बीच की किसी वाइट डीलिंग को ज़बरदस्ती मेरे ऊपर थोपने की कोशिश की, वो भी सोर्सेज के हवाले से। तो एफआईआर में लिखा, उसके बेस पे मेरे घर पे रेड डलवा दी, घर पे कुछ नहीं मिला। तो अब बीजेपी कह रही है जी देखो सीबीआई नहीं ढूंढ पाई, अब हम स्टिंग करके देंगे। फिर वो कोई सड़क पे चौराहे पे खड़े होकर किसी को गाड़ी पे बिठा के कुछ कहते हैं, उसके कोई सवाल जवाब करते हैं। वो स्टिंग है, मजाक है। तो ऐसे स्टिंग मेरे पास भी है, मैं भी दे दूंगा कल बहुत सारे, फिर आप उसको भी चलाना। गलत तरीके से केस बनाकर ये उनके ऊपर दबाव डाला जा रहा था कि मेरे खिलाफ गलत तरीके से केस बनाकर मुझे अरेस्ट कराने की लीगल मंजूरी दें। उनके ऊपर जिन अधिकारी ने, सीबीआई के जिस अधिकारी ने सुसाइड किया है, उनके ऊपर गलत तरीके से दबाव बनाया जा रहा था कि मेरे खिलाफ इलीगल तरीके से, फर्जी तरीके से केस बना के मेरे अरेस्ट को मंजूरी दें, जिसको वो मंजूरी नहीं दे रहे थे। उनके ऊपर इतना दबाव था कि वो मानसिक दबाव में आ गए और उन्होंने सुसाइड कर लिया। ये बहुत दुखद घटना है कि सीबीआई के एक अधिकारी को, जिसको दिख रहा था कि पूरा का पूरा मामला फर्जी है, उसके ऊपर इतना दबाव बनाया गया गलत काम करने के लिए कि उसको आत्महत्या करने पर मजबूर होना पड़ा।
Has the Sharab scam stinks Sisodia? That's the legitimate question we're asking on the Newshour tonight. The debate, liquor gate sting twist. That's the hashtag and the debate on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining me tonight on the big debate, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, Member of Parliament and National Spokesperson of the BJP, Ishkaran Bhandari, Advocate, Dr. Sumanth Raman, Political Analyst, Ravi Srivastava, Political Analyst, Akash Deep Muni, Political Analyst. And to you, Dr. Sumanth Raman, first. I want to ask you, there are specific questions that have been raised on this entire issue, and they are being explained in the sting operation that has been released today. And this is about the windfall gains and profits that the licensees have got, the loss to the exchequer, and the fact that blacklisted companies have been allowed and tender violations have been violated. I want to ask you, Dr. Sumanth Raman, isn't it important for the Aam Aadmi Party to answer these specific questions rather than bring in, all and sundry issues of a political fight? I'm not denying there will be a political fight between two opposing political parties, but none of the specifics have been answered, and that is the question I'm asking you tonight. Why?
Navika, I think on this particular issue, we are now scraping the bottom of the barrel. A raid was conducted on Mr. Sisodia's residence. Nothing was found. A raid was conducted on his bank lockers. Nothing was found. And he has been very upfront in saying nothing was found. Normally, they'll at least release some saying that something has been seized. Even that release was not there this time. So I think we are now reduced to scraping the bottom of the barrel, getting various people audios and videos and so on. First of all, this person's son is 13th accused. We don't even know if that man is guilty. So before that, there is a recording of his father saying something. I mean, is this some kind of a joke? I think Mr. Sisodia was right. He says that, look, the objective is to arrest him. And I think it would be much simpler to simply arrest him without any reason, saying that they would like to arrest him for political purposes and be done with it. Because this is not, I mean, this is getting embarrassing, frankly. Policy decisions are not scams. So far, there has not been a shred of evidence which has been put out in the public domain of any payments being made to Mr. Manish Sisodia or, or his family. And this kind of thing is sapping the administration on a daily basis. I mean, how can one be expected to govern when you are actually expecting to be arrested at any point of time and having to deal with the legal issues which go along with it? It's very, very unfortunate, Navika. And I think the fact that we are debating this complete non-issue of a quote-unquote sting video, about which neither about its authenticity of what the contents are in it, even an iota is not known. It tells us how far we have fallen. And honestly, if
Dr.
I really wonder,
Dr. Sumanth Raman, while you have the right to say whatever you want to say, but there are, like I started on the note that there are specific questions. The questions is black listed companies were allowed to participate.
Look,
is that scraping the bottom of the barrel? The question on earnest money deposits being returned and tender conditions being violated. Is that a nonsensical question? Is it stupid to ask a question on why profit margins increased by 10x in this particular case? Are these stupid questions? Why was excise duty reduced from 223 to about 2 rupees? Is that a stupid question to ask?
But that's a policy decision. That's a policy decision.
All right. So the policy is Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. The policy was to reduce the inflows into the exchequers, and therefore you cannot question the policy, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. And this sting operation is a bogus operation, says Dr. Sumanth Raman. Respond.
Government reduced excise on fuel by 10 rupees.
Navika ji, I would like to respond to Dr. Sumanth Raman in the same sequence. He has said that Manish Sisodia ji he is claiming that in his office and house nothing has been found. Sir, Manish Sisodia ji has openly claimed that well before several days, as per him, he was having some information through his sources in the CBI, quote unquote, by Manish Sisodia himself, that he is going to be raided. And then he is saying that nothing has been found. So I think he would not be foolish enough to leave around anything significant there in his house and office. Like on an examination days, if examination center is to be checked by a flying squad, and if it is announced well in advance that after 2 days or 3 days a flying squad will come, and then you will say nothing has been found, because if any material would have been there, it could have been shifted. So this logic doesn't stand when they claim that they were knowing the raid is going to happen. Now coming to this sting, there are two things. One is the content of the sting, another is the authenticity of the sting, but above all, the policy of the sting. Mr. Kejriwal was the first leader in the entire history of India who was sitting on the constitutional post as chief minister, has said, आपके पास कोई आए जी तो इसका स्टिंग कर लीजिएगा जी और सीधे हमें दे दीजिएगा, हम स्टिंग पर ही कार्रवाई कर देंगे. Now he is saying the authenticity is to be verified, and this roadside sting. I want to remind the sentence of Kejriwal ji 6 years back. अगर रोड पे कोई पुलिस वाला तुमसे कुछ मांगे, स्टिंग कर लीजिएगा जी, हमें दे दीजिएगा, हम उस पे कार्रवाई करेंगे. Now they are saying the roadside sting is not valid. Now, as far as technical aspect is, so first their moral credibility is being demolished by this act, and now they should tender an apology that when Kejriwal ji has said that sting ke base pe karwai honi chahiye, it was childish, naive and bachkana. Now coming to this thing, on technical aspect, it would have been very easy. They would have called Mr. Varma, and he had said in the press conference, I have not spoken anything like this, I was not in the sting. The thing would have been clear. दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी हो जाता. But ये तो कर नहीं रहे. Today LG has slapped a notice to them. Do they have audacity to question the authenticity? They could have asked for forensic testing. Even they could have asked for clear inquiry. Even I can say, even they could have asked that narcotics can be done, that this person was not there in the sting. But unfortunately, on every technical aspect, they are retrieving and trying to dodge on every aspect. तो मेरा ये मानना है कि ये स्टिंग के ऊपर अब कम से कम इनकी मॉरल डिफीट तो हो गई है. जो सबसे पहले स्टिंग की ऑथेंटिसिटी कहते थे, आज उन्होंने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया कि इस ढंग से किसी स्टिंग पे उनके हिसाब से कार्रवाई नहीं होनी चाहिए, उन्हें माफी मांग लेनी चाहिए. उसके बाद हम इस बात पे जवाब देते हैं. नहीं, oh my God, I want to say whether Kejriwal as chief minister has said it or not.
Oh my God.
Now he should apology or not.
Sir, the issue
that
is
my
not
statement was wrong.
Sting.
Otherwise,
the issue is whether what the man said
keeping
is
in view his own words, he should have said. And
Sir,
second thing,
the
they are
issue
the
is
person
not about the
जो ये
video.
कहते थे,
What
allegation लगते ही resign करना चाहिए. Allegation
true.
लगते ही resign करना चाहिए. Now they are saying, let allegation be complete. And not this. Even Mr. Satyendra Jain, who is in jail, who has not given any reply from the court, still he is kattar ईमानदार. गजब कि ये वही लोग हैं 8 years before. Those used to say like this, that even an iota iota of allegation come, the person or leader should have resigned and provided all his credentials to the Lokpal. वो टोपी पहनते थे ना, मुझे चाहिए जन लोकपाल. कहां गया जन लोकपाल? Forget about Jan Lokpal. They have made one Lokpal in their own party. Admiral Ramdas vanished, finished. So now they have been totally exposed, and this sting has been nothing but another blow to the credibility of the Aam Aadmi Party.
Well, Sumanth Raman, can you actually answer the specifics? I again implore you, answer the specifics.
Yeah. I am answering the specifics. First of all, the fact that this may really be Mr. Marwa. The point is whether what he is saying is true. You have zero evidence that what Mr. Marwa said is true. So, and you're putting out this quote-unquote sting video on national TV. Now, the second point, very importantly, many of these relate to decisions taken by the government and put out in public domain. You can question the wisdom of those decisions. That does not make them scams.
Okay.
Every time government lowers excise duty on something,
but
it is not equal to a scam.
I'm also asking you, Dr. Sumanth Raman, the wisdom of completely removing excise duty and VAT, we can question. Okay, itna tak to hum maan gaye. Now, I want to ask you, does flouting tender norms fall under the category of wisdom, or does it fall under the category of breaking the law? Answer that.
Does it not, one minute, does it not remain to be proven? Does it not remain to be proven that tender norms were violated? Is that not for a court of law?
That is why the Aam Aadmi Party issued. Okay, so Ravi Srivastava ji, the fact that Sumanth Raman is saying that is a matter of investigation. So let me ask you, before the investigation, the Aam Aadmi Party itself has decided to give a show cause notice. Now, why a show cause notice is not taken to its, to its logical conclusion? Isn't that a valid question to ask? Number one. Number two, you gave a license to somebody and took a 30 crore earnest money deposit. Instead of getting an okay from Airports Authority of India, the licensee could not get that permission, which is the job of the licensee to get. Yet, you are in a hurry to return back the 30 crores. मुझे बता दीजिए ऐसे कितने लोग हैं जिन्होंने सरकार से अपने डिपॉजिट इतनी जल्दी में निकाल लिए जैसे ये वाले निकले? ये सवाल बीजेपी ने उठाए हैं, और अगर ये उठाएं तो इनका जवाब क्यों नहीं आ रहा? Why?
The ruling government in Maharashtra has returned 385 crore to a private company just now. Go for the inquiry. Now, first of all, let me tell you, this sting is all bogus. And all that you are asking about the show cause notice is an administrative matter. It does not fall in the preview of a scam or a fraud or any such thing. This particular sting is a fraud done by the father of an accused. I repeat, accused. How far he should be trusted and why should he be trusted? This is a homemade video by the BJP by which they have nothing else but to malign the Aam Aadmi Party. The Manish Sisodia has blatantly told, brotherly said it, that is a joke, literally a joke. And they will give you some more videos tomorrow. Will you run it?
You said father of accused number 13. Father of accused number 13, should he be trusted? Then a corollary to that is, there is an accused number 1, Mr. Manish Sisodia, who's been holding press conferences. Should he be trusted? Simple corollary.
What did he? No, simple corollary, but my question here is, did Manish Sisodia say that I don't want an inquiry? He welcomed it. He said, come on, probe me. Had the Bulwinder Singh said, come on, probe me. You have made a video and you are making it as it is a gospel truth. And first thing is, where is the quid pro quo? Where is the money trail? Nothing. You only want to ask 30 crore, 144 crore, 5 crore.
Ishkaran Bhandari, Mr. Ravi Srivastava and Dr. Sumanth Raman think that we are raising bogus questions. Everything in this case, every allegation is bogus. And therefore, the entire case that has been put forth by the BJP is a bogus case. Respond to Mr. Ravi Srivastava.
Navika ji, in the clip you were showing, Mr. Marwa says a very interesting line, "Chaal ye chali." So, us time se chaal yehi chali ja rahi hai. Sometimes it becomes New York Times as a defense. Sometimes it becomes 20 crore is being given to my LMLA. Sometimes it becomes, I will call a no confidence motion against myself. Sometimes you have to attack the LG. But today was the lowest. Anybody who understands law knows that a person who is a deputy legal advisor in charge of prosecution is somebody who's supervising how the counsels are doing in matters which are being charge sheeted. But nothing will remain sacrosanct for Manish Sisodia not to attack. So what he says, a person whose duty is not to see the investigation, a person whose duty or responsibility does not lie into the fact whether somebody should be arrested or not, a person who's doing his professional job, seeing a charge-sheeted case, a very different stage from an FIR, and that also there will be multiple officers seeing that in charge of different cases and different courts. He unfortunately does something which is under investigation. And that also becomes something to be used to proclaim your innocence. They have two different views. When they are not in power, if they find a scrap of paper lying on the road, then they want people to resign, for which two ministers have made them apologize. Probably the LG may succeed in the case and they may apologize 3-4 years down the line. And anytime something comes on them, including a sting, there was a video of Mr. Kejriwal, there is a Anna Hazare letter where he himself said that महिलाओं से पूछो कहाँ पे liquor shop खोलेंगे, 90% agree करें. That is also a sting. That is a live video where also he is disowned that. So basically what has happened is lie for anything under the sun. But of course, the lies will only end if CBI can prosecute and convict. Otherwise, the lies will not end.
Well, I want to get in Mr. Muni. Mr. Muni, where do you stand on this debate? Is the BJP playing political theatrics or is the Aam Aadmi Party dodging from the hard questions that are facing them? You're on mute.
You have been in journalism, and the most important factor is that is this a sting or not? Who has done this sting by BJP? Who is this person? He is an accused named by BJP. Who is this person? Who is a nobody? And on this nobody saying irrelevant without naming somebody. Has he named some minister? Has he named any Pravakta of Aam Aadmi Party? Has he named any MLA? Even the Deputy Chief Minister, has he named? Nothing.
But he's spoken about
nobody and nothing.
He's spoken about the modus operandi, and nobody is saying that this has to be taken on face value. It will have to be proved in a court of law with evidence.
Anybody or everybody. Navika, just let me 1 minute to complete. It may be said by anybody or everybody, but if there is the BJP has the CBI, IT, and all the organizations. Why didn't they submit this video to them? Why did they put this video out? This is political gimmicking, and trust me on this video is nothing.
Let me ask you a counter question, Mr. Muni. If this is political gimmickry, what about the charge that Mr. Sisodia and Mr. Kejriwal made about the fact that 20 crores were offered to their MLAs and we'll put out the evidence? Was that also gimmickry? Because we haven't seen the evidence just yet.
That will come out. That will come out. Trust me on this, in coming time, that will come out.
Is there an expiry date?
I totally agree. No. I totally agree. As per my sourcing, they will be coming out with the video sooner or later. We have to wait, and the spokespersons have not denied it officially, and they will be coming out.
Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi.
Mr. Muni is talking about political gimmickry. So I would like to say Aam Aadmi Party is having 90% majority in the House. I think nowhere in the political history of India, previous they were having 96% majority, now they are having 90% majority and is still trying to impose a self-imposed vote of confidence. This is not mimicry. This is the political pious chastity. Then, doing every Delite, means the resident of Delhi, engulfed in Daru, then going to the Samadhi of Mahatma Gandhi, whose Janma Jayanti is considered dry day throughout the country. And they are trying to vow for the chastity of their liquor policy. This is the political pious chastity. It's not gimmickry. Writing in their own book, Swaraj, that we will close all the liquor shops and any liquor shop will not be, as Karan Bhandari indicated also, can only be open after written permission of 90% women of that area, which is being mentioned by their fountainhead of inspiration, their Pitra Purush, their fatherly figure, Anna Hazare in his letter. But that is not political gimmickry, that is kattar imandar political pious chastity. Sir, now everything has been exposed from top to bottom. Now they were the party, only party who has said, as the allegation come, person should resign. Then they were the said, there is no investigation, immediately resignation. But we are the only political party which has tendered apology in Supreme Court of India for laying the false allegations against Sri Nitin Gadkari, against Sri Arun Jaitley, against Sri Kapil Sibal, against Sri Manish Tiwari, maybe LG going to be the next. So I think their political gimmickry has been exposed not only in the eyes of public, even in the court of law.
Okay, sir, with all respect, can I come in? I really respect, sir. Sudhanshu, one thing that is very important is that, Navika, previously the number of, it was totally made that, this liquor policy will change Delhi into a liquor hub. Interestingly, on facts, it is not. 849 liquor shops were there in the previous policy. After the second policy by Arvind Kejriwal was brought in, 600 liquor shops it came down to 600, and now today it has come down to 454. So liquor shops has come down rather than increase
because my friend, you have cancelled the policy. Why did you cancel the policy? If there was nothing wrong with the policy, and if it was going to solve all the problems of Delhi, why did you cancel the policy? Number one. Number two, the exchequer is not gaining much. It is not gaining much, and the figures are out there because an RTI says that initially the sale of liquor in Delhi was to the tune of, I think, 135,000 liters, and it more than doubled after the new policy. Then why did you stop it? Means that your assumptions of the sale of liquor in policy X was different from the sales that took place, and therefore the loss to the exchequer was way more that you had calculated, and that's exactly what was said by the excise department in the Delhi government. All their proposals were rejected.
With all respect, Navika ji, I'll reply all your questions fast. In a short while.
Navika.
First and foremost is that...
Coming to you.
First and foremost is that why this liquor policy was taken back. This liquor policy was taken back because there was no liquor rent in the 40% of the part of the Delhi. What happens is that the 849 liquor shops were distributed throughout Delhi. And later on, when 2 days before this policy was brought into action, Delhi LG took back and said that on the 40% area of Delhi will not have any liquor shops.
But you still implemented it. You still implemented it for a while. The losses were showing, and that's when you cancelled it. Isn't that true, Ishkaran Bhandari? Are they being extremely economical with the truth and what happened on the ground?
Let me answer.
They are not being economical with the truth. They don't know what truth is. The brazenness is so brazen that it is almost admirable. That how can you be so brazen? Some CBI officer in charge of a different department, you relate to your case. You come and say CBI will raid me. You come and say CBI has given me a clean sheet. You have become CBI director. So it is not their economical with truth. They don't have a nodding acquaintance with truth. That is the reality. But let's come to the specifics. आप मुझे ये बता दो, ज्यादा दारू बेच के कम पैसे कमाने का क्या सिस्टम है जो आपने किया? And that is the reason they had to withdraw. The sales increase, but the profits go down. In a captive, let me answer. Don't interrupt. We can't have a debate this way. We can't have a debate this way. You bring out a policy to increase the revenue. The sales go up, the revenue goes down. You have to, when you are caught, you have to change the policy. You don't say, no, we are right. Kattar imandar policy hai. Isme paisa badhega. We will stick to the policy. So what you are doing is basically unheard of profits, where the person on the sting video says 20 rupees ki cheez 100 rupees mein bech raha hu. So where is the profit going? It's definitely not going to the Delhi government, and that is what CBI has to investigate. And I hope they investigate very fast manner.
Dr. Sumanth Raman. Dr. Sumanth Raman.
Navika, 2 points. First of all, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is on record as saying that the CBI has already seen all the files related to this more than a year ago, and they have not chosen to do anything further on it to the best of his knowledge. So therefore, that is the first fact that remains. The second part is, we started this debate saying there has been a loot and there has been a scam. Then we sort of came one step down to saying that, you know, policy decision, why did they take such policy decisions that caused loss to Exchequer? Now we are down to Arvind Kejriwal actually said he will consult women before opening liquor stores, and he broke his poll promise. So I think that in 30 minutes, if we have traveled from a huge scam to Arvind Kejriwal has not implemented a promise that he made, I think that's a significant drop in just the space of about 25 minutes. I think it is best to wait for the investigation, not run these nightly pantomime shows where, you know, the credibility of the investigating agencies. It's not about what
Dr.
the BJP
Sudhanshu
wants
Trivedi,
to do or not.
Should the BJP wait for the investigation report from the CBI rather than starting pantomime shows, as Dr. Sumanth Raman says?
Navika, I am aghast by the astounding wisdom which has been shown by Dr. Sumanth Raman. Sir, Arvind Kejriwal has not said this. Arvind Kejriwal ji has written this in his book Swaraj, giving his concept of politics which he wants to bring. And inspired by whom? Inspired by Anna, whom he considered the fountainhead of his movement from which it has come. Like Anna ji is for them is like Deen Dayal Upadhyay for us. And the book is like Ekatma Manavvad. Can any of the BJP leaders said कि एकात्म मानववाद तो बेकार था और दीनदयाल जी को परगलाया गया था? Now Anna ji has written to Kejriwal कि तुमने पॉलिटिक्स में क्या कर दिया सर? उनका लिखा है, बोला नहीं है, लिखा है. ये मैं क्लियर करना चाहता था. पॉलिटिकल विजन में लिखा है. इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं, they have been totally. And another astounding wisdom, that the policy which they have withdrawn, but they are coming here to defend. It's very peculiar, sir. When the policy is not worthy to be there in the law, then how it can be worthy there to defend in the debate on television channel?
Well,
I think this duplicity has further exposed the dual characteristic of the...
Well, I just want to tell our viewers tonight, is this political shadow boxing between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party? Or are there some genuine questions? Questions that arise out of why would the Aam Aadmi Party government reduce the inflow into their own coffers, even though they had money to be made which could have been used for the welfare of the people of Delhi? It's a question. Why were there windfall profits offered to those who were given these licenses? And why was the commission raised from 2% to 12%? While Dr. Sumanth Raman may want us to believe that policies are policies and should only be questioned on wisdom, the question people of India are asking, well, wisdom or not, the question is, dal mein kuch kala tha ya nahi? And we'll only know that when the investigation is out, when this matter gets to the courts, we'll know what exactly happened in this policy. We leave it at that, as I thank my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.